It's Kelly Boyce from Loch Briar Knits, and this is episode 3, take 2, because I taped this entire episode yesterday, and it turned out with the autofocus going crazy, and jumping in and jumping out, and then my head was cut off, and there was just... I thought it was going to take us time to retape it, and so then to edit it. So here I am. So welcome back to all you returning viewers and subscribers. Thank you so much for hanging in there while I get the hang of the podcasting thing. And to all the new viewers, welcome. I hope you'll stick around and come back and see some more. And I promise I will improve on my methods, hopefully. Anyways, I'm podcasting from Nova Scotia, Canada, and spring has finally arrived after about 2 weeks of just constant sleet and snow and cold and disgusting weather. So, yay, spring! So anyway, just a little admin. You can find me on Ravelry. Ravelry is Loch Briar, and then I started a Ravelry group, Loch Briar Knits, which you can check out if you'd like, and hopefully we'll get some people in there and get some chatter going. But that's where I'm going to be storing my episode notes, and it just seems like probably the easier way to do things. I'm actually kicking off my shoe, sorry. I'm also on Instagram as Kelly L. Boyce, and I have an Etsy shop and a Facebook page, which are both under Loch Briar Knits. So I'm going to put up a little clip, and that'll have a list of everything where you can find me. I started a blog, and it didn't really, I don't know. I think my time is kind of limited between the day job and writing and trying to get knitting done, and I think I'm gonna let the blog go for now anyway. I don't think I have time to do that and then do everything else as well. So yeah, I think Instagram and Ravelry, Facebook, and Etsy are the ones I'm most active on, especially Instagram. I'm an Instagram lover, so you'll find me there usually with something going on every day. So that's it, I think, for admin. I'm trying to podcast bi-weekly and throw in a few vlogs here and there if there's something going on. I did one on dyeing the yarn, and I'll show you, I do have it here. I'll show you how that turned out, the final skeined up product. And I also did a little dyeing this afternoon, right before I realized I had to redo the podcast. So I'll show you that drawing on the rack a little later. Yeah, so anyways, let's jump in, and I have an embarrassing amount of yarn to show you that I've purchased along with a couple other things, and so we might as well just get right into the yarn hoarding portion of the podcast. But first, tea. This is my favorite tea mug, by the way. I bought it in Lunenburg in the old town. If you ever get a chance to go to Nova Scotia, come up to Nova Scotia, come down to Nova Scotia, over, under. Geography, not my strong suit. There's a great street in Old Town Lunenburg, and it has all these crazy, beautiful shops on it. And this one was, I think it was called the Shop in the Corner, and it literally is the shop on the corner. And they have coffee and sweets, but they have all this other great stuff too that you could lose your mind in. And there's also some really nice yarn. There's a couple of yarn shops, one or two. I forget now. I bought enough that there should have been two. but that's a story for another day. This, anyways, I got this over the summer when my husband and I went down and stayed for a long weekend in a cabin down there, and it was lovely. And so I got one for me, and I got one for my sister. And hers is blue and white because she wants to go to Greece very desperately, and I thought this would at least hold her over until she could get there. But it's quite lovely, and I'm going to turn this around and try to show you. You can see, there you go. Got me spilling my tea on me. It's got like the little inside thing, and it's a good sized mug too. I don't like drinking small cups of tea. I like something that I can kind of hold, which is just that's my way of putting off the admission of how much yarn I bought in the last 2 weeks, and it's an embarrassing amount. So let's get to it. So first off, I finished buying the yarn for my Find Your Fade shawl. Which, here's the thing, and I could probably talk about this in what's in the Q section, but I'm going to talk about it now. I'm not sure I'm going to do the Find Your Fade shawl. See, the problem is that I know it's a fair amount of work to get it done. And it's huge, like massive. Now, I'm only 5'2", and I don't know that I'd wear it enough to justify the amount of work that it takes to get it done. So I'm really on the fence. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't know. I did, Sam at Hand Me My Knitting mentioned how she finds it quite large, and she said she's like about 5'7", 5'7.5". She just found it quite huge. So if that's the case, I could be tripping over it if she's 5'7" and I'm 5'2", and she's finding it quite large. But she did mention, or somebody had mentioned on her Instagram, that they had seen where people had stopped increasing after 200 stitches. So maybe that's an option. I'm not sure. The other option is that I can kind of divvy up the stash that I bought for the Find Your Fade and maybe do 2 shawls out of it. Because the Find Your Fade, in the very early stages, you're only using a small amount. And then you've got all this leftover yarn. So if I divvy it up and do 2 shawls with it, then I might do that. That might make a little more sense. And then I can maybe do one for me, and I can do one for somebody as a gift. So I'm going to grab the yarn. It's right down here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so some of this I think I showed on episode 1 or 2. And that's, let's see if I can get this going all in the right direction. Ah! Okay, so that's these 3 here. So we start off with the purple, and this one's from Sweet Paprika. It's Larkspur. And then the next one is Lichen and Lace. And this one is Huckleberry. So it's got some, you can see it's kind of got some burgundy that'll kind of fade or work with that. And then, whoops, another Sweet Paprika, and this one is Mountain Bluebird. So that'll kind of obviously go with that. So then, wait, sorry. There. This one's first, then this one, then this one. And then the rest is all Lichen and Lace. Because like I said, I went to town. So this, I think, is all new stuff I haven't shown you before. I think I bought it in the last couple weeks. So again, Lichen and Lace. So this is purple, which of course will mesh with this. And this one is Baby Eggplant. I might have shown you this in the last episode. I can't remember. So that's Baby Eggplant. And then this one is baby leaves. So again, you can kind of see this has got some yellow in it, and this has got some yellow tones in it. So those will start to sort of mesh a bit. It doesn't show up quite here, but they actually, right there, it's almost bang on. And then another lichen lace. This one is seagrass. So this picks up some of the greens, which it's not showing up on the camera very well here, but you can get some of the greens and yellows in here. And then I love the colors in this one too. Like it's, kind of see, it's got like different kinds going on like that. It's quite nice. I really like this one. If I don't do, I don't know, I'll find something really nice for this one because it's one of my favorites. But this one is my favorite lichen and lace. And I say that and then I'll think, no, this one is, because I have another one to show you that is also one of my favorites. But this, which has the brown tones in it, and of course, again, lichen and lace, this one's called Shroom. And this one is just awesome. It's browns and yellows. It's got some really dark speckles of black. Let's see what we got. See, you know, and then kind of the sort of off-white base. But this goes with this. So now that I see all these together, I'm like, oh, I really want to do it. But I don't know. I'm going to have to give that one some thought. So in the meantime, these are hanging out in the stash together. I'm not going to use them for anything else until I kind of decide what exactly I'm doing. So, all right, put these back down. Okay, so I had to grab the other ones. So the other yarn is all lichen and lace. There's a shipment that came in to the Loop, which is my local yarn store. Not mine. I wish it was mine. I'd never make any money. I'd be using all the product. But they had a shipment come in, and it goes really fast. So, and she's not getting another one until August. So I kind of went a little crazy. So all the ones I showed you earlier, those are all on the sock yarn, and I think these two are okay. So this one is Wildflowers, and this is also on the sock yarn. So I love, she has Wildflowers. She has one that I also have, Pressed Flowers. I think there's another one. There's another one I'm forgetting. But they're beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. That's the problem, is they're so beautiful that I'm like, I have to have the perfect project for them. So this is the one that's also one of my favorite colorways she does. It's called Burnt Lobster. Look at this bad boy. This is just insane. There's like purples and reds and yellows and orange. And you know, Nova Scotia being a big lobster place, it seems fitting. So I'm making myself something with this one. This one's going to be for me. I have no idea what it's going to be. Maybe I'll make a cowl or something. Don't want to do socks with it, although I bet it would probably look really good with socks. I don't know. I don't want to do socks. It is socks. I want to do something different. So if you have any ideas, let me know. Those are both on the sock weight yarn as well. And this one is singles. And look at the color. This one's called Clover. I absolutely love this. And I'm going to say that about every skein of yarn she does. So, lichen and lace also. Here's her, if I can, turn them backwards. There we go. So that's her label. She's actually from Sackville, New Brunswick, which is just part of the Atlantic provinces that Nova Scotia's part of as well, if you're not familiar with the area. So she's not too far from home. So I really like being able to support a yarn dyer that's local, or relatively. The other thing I got, now there's three things that are not yarn. So I bought the Knitter's Pride pack of double-pointed needles, because I want to be able to do two needles. I want to do 2 socks at once so that I'm not suffering from second sock syndrome, which I'm kind of suffering with on my stripey socks. We'll get to that in the whip. Anyway, I want to be able to do 2 socks at once, and maybe like do knit part of the cuff on one and then the cuff on the other, and then just match it as I go. So I'm kind of finishing them both at the same time. And I know you can do 2 socks at once on the long needles, but I don't want to do that, not yet. Mostly because I'd have to learn how to do that, and I just got enough on my plate right now that I'm like, I'll pick that skill up later, because I would actually like to learn how to do that, and I want to figure out how to do magic loop, which I think I understand, but I haven't tried it yet. So once I think I've got a little more time in my hands, maybe over the summer, I'll pick up those new things. So the other 2 new beauties is, oh, there is more yarn. I forgot. Where did I put that one? Oh, sorry. So it's more yarn from Lichen and Lace. This one is literally called Lichen, and it's not showing up. It's actually a much more vibrant spring green than what it's showing here. It looks a little pale on the camera, but it's this is in the single weight. This is from her singles, and I bought 4 skeins of that colorway, and that's gonna come up in the queue, so I'll tell you why later. Anyway, the other things I bought, I mentioned, I think in the last podcast, that I had ordered a couple of project bags because I don't have that many, and these ones are from Little Skein in the Big Wool, and they are so nice. I got this one is called, it's called Enchanted Wood or Enchanted Forest. So you can kind of see you've got the this is the frog prints here, and then you've got the Little Mermaid here, Little Red Riding Hood, Rumpelstiltskin. I thought there was, oh, wait, it's on this side, I think maybe, yeah, here. Cinderella, losing her shoe. So this one fits. This one's where the Simple Lines shawl is living in. And I literally got the yarn stuck in the zipper. Well done. Anyway. So it's got like a nice little stripe on the inside. Okay, that's, yeah. Okay, never mind the pointy thing sticking out. Sorry. Dirty mind. Anyway, that's the Simple Line shawl, which I'll talk about later, if I can get the yarn out of the thing. And this is the second one. This is the one I was really excited about because it's called Prince Edward Island, which again is one of the Atlantic provinces. That's also the home of Lucy Maud Montgomery, who wrote the Anne of Green Gables books. And as you can see, we've got some Anne action happening here, and all of the leaves, because Anne is well known for having said that she wished she could live in a world of October. So there you go. I'm really excited about this. This one right now is where the socks I'm knitting for my sister are. And I'm sorry to say, Al, that I have not knitted on these since I started them. But there's a reason for that. And I am gonna, starting next week, try to get these done. So then you can kind of see the inside here of these. Then there's the little thing here for if you wanted to get a handle. She had handles as well, and I kind of wish I'd gotten them now because I was carrying the other one under my arm, and I had my hands full with some other stuff, and I had a backpack on, and I thought at that time this would have made more sense if I'd gotten a couple of handles. So I may go back and do that. But that's, okay, that is it for yarn hoarding and acquisitions. I really kind of gotta, I think, curtail. I think I've got everything that I need right now. So I shouldn't have to buy any more yarn for a couple of months. I really don't need to buy any more yarn for about an entire year or 3, but that's not going to happen. So we'll see. We'll see. I make no promises. So in other dye news, sorry, I'm going to set that down there. Yarn news, I guess. I did some more dyeing. I did 2 skeins weekend pass. Well, I did 2 skeins today, which I just finished before I started re-recording. Then I did 2 skeins last weekend, and those were the ones that were on the vlog. And then I had done 2 the weekend before that. So bear with me. I'm going to go grab them. I'll start with the ones from 2 weekends ago. So the first one I wanted to do kind of like some Easter egg colors. So this one is called Easter Egg Parade, and it's just got a mix of blues and yellows, and there's some green hiding in there, and so I got in there blues, yellows, pinks. Actually, that might be purple or magenta. I forget which one I used. I wrote it down somewhere. Anyways, that's my Easter Egg Parade. I actually really liked how that one turned out. So, and it's nice and squishy. So that's on sock yarn, 80/20. And that was from 2 weekends ago. And that, at the same time, while I was doing one for Easter, I did one for my favorite season, which is fall. So this one is called Autumn Leaves, and it's just a mix of browns and orange and red and yellow. Did I put some green in there? Yeah, I put a little green in there too. I don't know if you can, there's some, you can kind of see some right there. So this is actually one of my favorites that I've done so far. I'm definitely going to repeat this colorway. It wasn't, yeah, I love fall. I love fall colors. I love everything about it, except for the fact that winter comes right after it. And the only good thing I like about winter is that I can wear a lot of the stuff that I knitted. So that was one from that was the batch from 2 weeks ago. Then last weekend, I was all about the blue, and this one here is called, what did I call this one now? April Showers. This is, you see it there. So it's got flecks of, it's kind of an aqua color, and it's got flecks of purple, because the crocuses are starting to show. And it's also got little flecks of green in some spots. You can kind of see one there. So I really, really love the color on this one. And I think though, when I redo it, I'm going to put a little bit more green into it because I didn't put enough in for it really to show up as much as I want. It's sort of a faint hint, but I would like maybe to have it show up just a little more. But that's April showers, so I'm definitely going to be doing that one again. And I'm trying to get a sense of what ones I really like and take kind of copious notes on what I'm doing so that I can recreate the colored way, because those are the ones that I'll end up putting in the shop. So this next one is another one I definitely want to redo. And it is called Chocolate Cures the Blues. So as you can see, it's got different shades of blues in there, mixed in with some lovely chocolate. Because who doesn't like chocolate? Well, there's probably some people that don't like chocolate, but whatever. So there you go. See the chocolate in there. So that was last weekend. So I'm getting about 2 done, depending. I'm still doing book revisions right now, so half of my weekend day goes towards that, and then I try to get a couple hours in of dyeing and some family time. So the other ones, I'm going to see, and excuse the mess because this place is a bit of a disaster right now. So I'm going to spin you around. So we've got, you can kind of see the green here. I don't want to, and then we've got all kinds of purples and magentas over here. So once I get those skeined up, I'll show them in the next podcast, and I really, really, really like the purple one. So I'm anxious to see how that's going to turn out. It's got some gray in it. It's got a little bit of gray in it, and then it's got some purple and magenta and some white left showing, just to kind of create a bit of a variation. So that one, those two, I don't have names for those ones yet, so I haven't really, I don't know. Anyways, if anybody has any brilliant ideas on what you want, what you think those should be named, I know you only got a brief glance, but what I'll do is I will post those on Instagram, and once they're skeined up, and you can maybe give me some ideas on what to call those. So let's see, that's about it for dyeing. I'm hoping to actually get, it's a 4-day weekend here because I took Monday off. I moved our offices last weekend, so I worked all day Saturday, so my boss gave me 2 days off to use whenever I like. So I'm going to take the upcoming Monday off, so I have a 4-day weekend, and then I'll use the other one somewhere else, probably later on in the spring. But those ones actually that I did today are both on, the green is on worsted weight, and then the purple one is on DK weight. So yeah, so I'll post, once those are skeined up, which should be tomorrow, I'll post them on Instagram, and if you have any ideas on what they should be called, let me know. All right. So next is whips. So there's no finished objects. I had really, really hoped to have my Stripey Sock done. I knew I wasn't going to have it done in time for the cowl, for the end date of the cowl, which was March 31st. But then the date got extended, and I think it was till April 10th, maybe. But I ended up having some heel issues. Where did I put it here? And I decided just to set it down for a few days because I was getting a little frustrated with it. and I just want to finish it, even though they're just for me, but it's just the principle of the thing. Ow. It's like me against the sock. Anyway, I'm going to finish it this weekend. I am if it kills me. But oops, there's the yarn. So I've got the heel done, and I think it looks okay. I think maybe you're somewhere around here. I messed something up. I just seem to have more stitches at the end than I should, almost like I forgot to decrease on one side when I was doing the shaping. I don't know. It's a story of my life when it comes to mistakes with my knitting. I don't know what I did. Anyway, I fixed it. I've got the right amount on the needles now, but see, I find the only time I have to knit through the week is after I get home from work and get everything done out of the way, and by then it's like, around 8 o'clock, at which time my brain is just kind of sputtering out because I've been up since 5, and I just find I'm making mistakes from going like, I have no idea what I did. I don't know. Anyway, I'm ready now to pick up the stitches on the side and do the inseam, and I'm going to finish this bad boy this weekend. If it kills me, it may kill me. I'm not going to lie. So that's the plan, but I set it aside. At this point, I had kind of figured out that I wasn't really going to meet the end of the Stripey Sock Cal deadline. So, but I didn't drop any more stitches. I don't know what I was doing with the heel, and I got frustrated with it, and I thought I'm just going to take a breather and work on my spring cal hat. Spring hat cal. God. So I did make progress on that, and I also made mistakes. So when I was doing the spring hat cal, let me get my pattern in here somewhere, is you can get this on Ravelry. I don't think it was a free pattern, but it wasn't very expensive. It was like a couple of bucks. So this is what it's going to look like. Let's see if I can get that to focus. So you can kind of see the pattern here. So right now I'm like about here. I've done the first 9 rows, the first 9 rows of the pattern, and there's the first 4 rows, and then you repeat those again, and then you do a knit row. So the first, actually I'll show you this first, see if I can get it. I don't know if this really shows up super well. You can see the pattern yet? I mean, I can see it, but I'm not sure. So you can sort of see where it's there. Slowly getting the hang of this autofocus today. I've said that now and I've jinxed myself. But yeah, so that's the start of it. So here's the story with that. You can kind of see I have my stitch markers along here every 20 stitches because that's how long the pattern section was, and then you repeat that 5 or 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So on the first 20 stitches, I did the pattern and then I repeated it and I came back around. So when I started the second row, instead of having 20 stitches there, I only had 19. I could not figure out what I'd done. I was looking at it. I was like, no, here's where I did this and this and this. I could not figure it out. So I created a stitch thinking I must have maybe forgotten a yarn over or something, but I couldn't figure out where I forgot the yarn over. So I just, again, it was late. I was like, whatever. throwing an extra stitch in there. So I did. And then I knit the row and I got back around to the first section and I only had 19 stitches again. And I was really careful to make sure that I did everything right. And I was like, okay, don't know what I did. Created another stitch. So I had the 20 and then I went around again. And when I got to this first section the third time, it was fine. So I went around again. And when I got on the fourth section, again, 19 stitches. Could not figure out what I was doing. So I backed that one out and then I knitted again. And I counted and I had 20 stitches. So then I thought I'm going to stop here at the end of the 4 rows because the next 4 rows was just a repeat of that. It was getting late and I could not figure out what I was doing wrong. So I thought, well, I'm just going to take some day off. I'll come back at it tomorrow and figure it out. So I came back at it the next day and realized what I had done wrong. The very last stitch in the 20 stitches was a yarn over. And I was somehow putting it over into the next, over the stitch marker so that it looked like it was part of the next section. So, but that didn't seem to affect the next section. So I don't know what I was doing there. Maybe, I don't know. Anyways, I figured out what I was doing. So then when I went around for the next 4, I didn't have that problem because I was kind of adjusting. Oh yeah, that stitch is going to be here, past the stitch marker, not before the stitch marker, just because of the way when you did the yarn over. And so that was great. So I finished those 4 off. Those 4 rows went fine. I'm loving the yarn. I'm loving like the variations. It's like a really nice kind of smoky blue. It looks a little lighter here than it does for in real life. But you can kind of see like there's lighter tones, but it's kind of a nice smoky blue navy color. And that's Awry lace merino, maybe is what it was. So anyways, then when I did the knit row, I realized, oh crap, I was supposed to, I was supposed to, when I started the lace section, go to the larger set of needles. So when I did the knit row, that's when I actually changed out to a larger set of needles. So I don't think it's going to make too big a deal because it was just the first little section here. And it was just going from a 2.75 to a 3. So hopefully, that's not going to be too much of a mess. See there? So that's that. I have to finish that by, I actually have to have this done for May 1st. So we're like mid-March right now. Mid-March? Yeah. Or no, April, mid-April. So I got to get cracking. So once I'm getting the sock done, and then I'm plowing into this thing. So the other thing, the last whippet, because I've been, oh no, here it is. I have been working on my, did I pull this over? Hang on. My Simple Lines shawl by Simone Alexander. So this is a really slow knit because you're doing, light yarn and it's a lot of stitches. Well, I mean, it's not crazy. It's not like 200 stitches. It's 100 and, I forget, 100 something. Anyway, I just found like I'd be knitting and it just didn't feel like I was making any progress. So I picked up just a generic progress keeper there. And I started, and it still doesn't look like I've made that much progress, but it's some. So I've decided I'm not going to start the Find Your Fade shawl until I get a little further along in this, because I really like this. It's an easy knit. It's not a knit I can do when I'm watching TV. It's 2x2 ribbing with like garter on the outside. But honestly, if my mind drifts, I'm gonna have a mess in my hands. I'm not gonna go 2x2. I'll start thinking I'm knitting the whole row, and so it's gonna be a mess. So it's not a sit in front of the TV kind of thing. So I've decided that I should try maybe cast on like something I can do in front of the TV. And I did find something. And since this finishes up the whips, we are going to move into the queue. So what's in the queue? I've actually added a couple things to the queue. I've temporarily taken the Find Your Fade out of there until I know exactly what I'm going to do with regards to that. But I've decided I'm keeping the Tin Cans Knits Flax Light sweater in, because I've decided I want to do 2 sweaters before fall hits, which may be a little ambitious given I've never actually knit a sweater before. So I was looking around trying to decide what sweater to do, and Katie from Inside number 23 was going on about the pavement sweater, so I was like, oh, I should check that out. And then somebody else on Instagram had mentioned about it, and I was like, I think I should check that out. And they're like, yeah, you really should. And I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was I was talking to now. So I got the pavement sweater pattern. Actually, I got the whole book of patterns now, I'm not even going to attempt to say her last name. I wonder if I can get it up on the screen there so that it's, here, see if I can get it there. Vera, and then, yeah, I can't even attempt to pronounce that without massacring it. But I think there's like 6 sweaters in here, and they all look fantastic. I think I'm going to be doing more than one, definitely. But for now, I'm going to do the Tin Cans Knits Flaxlight sweater, and I am going to do the pavement sweater, and that is what this was bought for, the Lichen and Lace Lichen Green. So I think they've got kind of it's mostly like a gray tones, but I'm going to do the green because I like green. So that's new in the queue, and that's going to replace the Find Your Fade shawl. The other thing in the queue is the Spring Explosion ones I showed you earlier. So I'm going to finish the socks, the Spring Explosion socks, which is just a plain vanilla sock. Spring Explosion is what I called the colorway. That's the first yarn dye that I did, and I love the colors in it. So I called it Bubblegum Sunday originally, and then I switched it out to Spring Explosion. So because it's finally spring here, no more snow. And so 2 sweaters, I'm finishing up these, and I found something that I can do while watching TV. So this here, let's see if I should have printed it off in color, but I didn't. See if that's focusing okay. So it's just like a kind of a light slouchy hat, but it's all pretty much stocking stitch in the round, except for the little detailing here, which is just garter, I think, from the looks of it. So this is from Church mouse yarns, and it's called the Soft Yak Slouch Hat. So I don't know which yarn I'm going to use on this one yet. I can go through my stash and find out. So that's in the queue. Now the other thing that is in the queue is going to be another pair of socks. So where's my, I don't know. I don't need more yarn, do I? No, I don't. This is one of my things holding my fingering weight sock yarn. So I've got, these are going to be great for Christmas. This is some more lichen and lace, I believe. Yeah. This is some more lichen and lace. There's some more lichen and lace down there. So yeah, I don't know which colorway. That's Fleece Artist, which I think are local. This one reminds me of Stained Glass. I love this one. Then there's also this one. I think that's also from Fleece Artist. What else have I got in here? There's just kind of some straight blue. It's kind of shiny. I got the Zauber Ball. Actually, no, I'm going to make a shawl out of that one. So that one's off market for the socks. But here's the thing. I do want to make another thing of socks, but I'm having a hard time deciding what yarn to use. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to post on Instagram. I'm going to narrow it down to 3. And then I'm going to post that on Instagram. And then maybe if you guys want to check it out and tell me what you think I should use for the next pair of socks that'll go in the queue, because I might do 2 at once. Not just like 2 of the same yarn, but 2 pairs of socks. Because I can actually do those when I'm watching TV too. Hopefully, unless I drop stitches. So that's what's in the queue. And I think that's everything that I've got planned coming up. I think so. I can hear the dog upstairs running around like an idiot. He just had his supper, so he gets a case of the psycho circles for a little while. And then if you don't pay attention with him, he'll do what he did at the last episode, where he'll grab something he shouldn't have, like the TV remote, and he'll take off with it. So if you hear little nail sounds, that's what it is. Anyway, so that's it for in the queue. So the last segment is usually just kind of total random stuff. There's not too much going on the last couple of weeks. I've been concentrating on finishing up my book revisions. Should have those done by, well, I have to have those done next week because I have to have them to my editor on the 22nd. So running out of time. And after those are passed in, then I just have to do copy edits for a week and then a final read through, and then it's done. And then I have no more writing deadlines hanging over my head. Not to say that I'm not going to be writing, but I'm shifting gears and I'm going to be working on something completely different, but I'm not giving myself a deadline for it. So I'm kind of giving myself a year to just sort of free fall into this new idea that I have and try something different in that. So I'm really looking forward to that, not having a deadline hanging over my head, being able to take a day off if I need a break. That'll be new and exciting. Maybe have some more time to spend knitting or with my family and not be under the crazy deadline. Get it done. So I'm looking forward to that. This weekend, the 4-day weekend, today we actually picked up a new TV. new to us anyways. It's a few years old, but it's a flat screen, and the one we have right now is probably close to 20 years old, so it's going to be a great improvement once we figure out how to get it hooked up and everything and pick up a stand for it. What else? We've got I've got to do a couple of days of revisions in the morning. But other than that, I think we're going to kind of take it easy. We have dinner plans to go to dinner for tomorrow night at a nice restaurant in town. My boss gave me a gift certificate to go there because I had, of all the work I had done with moving the office. So that was really nice. And we're going to enjoy that very much. And then Sunday, my whole family, which will be me and my husband, my sister, her husband, and her 3 kids, my brother, his wife, and their 3 kids, are all descending on my parents' house for Sunday Easter dinner. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then Monday, my husband and I both took off work, so we've sort of got a free day. I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. And yeah, so that's what's going on right now. That's about it. I should be back in 2 weeks' time with another podcast, and I'll have some more new dyed yarn to show you, and hopefully no more stuff. Oh, I will have stash enhancements. Yeah, I ordered a couple of things. One that's actually supposed to arrive on Monday, according to FedEx. Yeah, okay, so I will have some enhancement stuff, but it's stuff I've already bought. I'm not actually putting myself on a yarn diet, but I am going to try to curtail it a little bit. So, anyway, thanks for checking out the episode, and I hope you'll come back. Give it a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Subscribe if you want to know when the next one comes up. Should be back around in 2 weeks' time, give or take. And yeah, so I hope to see you back again. And thanks for showing up and hanging out with me. And happy knitting!